Composing Gloves here, and this video will be pretty simple. It is on diatonic chords. So when you pick a scale, you also, so we've talked about seventh chords, major chords, minor chords, diminished chords. Like, I just ate some ice cream, man. It feels so good to talk after eating ice cream. It's like this weird sensation. But we've really covered chords like quite extensively. Like, man, oh man. Not, well, maybe not quite as extensively. There's still so much in scales too. There's a ton, but you've really come a long way. Like you have learned a lot. So now it's time to sort of combine our knowledge of basic chords. I don't know why I said extensively. Basic chords into our knowledge of scales. And this is a whole subject all on its own. I'm going to leave it to its own video though, because once you understand the basic principles behind diatonic chords, you can apply, first off, you could apply your knowledge of seventh chords to and alterations such as sus C and suspended seconds and suspended fourths, and add chords and all these chords we talked about. You can apply that to them. So let's really quick just talk about diatonic chords. So I'm going to keep it in C, but once you understand this, I encourage you to do this for every key, all major and minor keys. So, and then after this, I'm going to do basic chord progressions, and I'm probably going to call it good for a while and come back with more focused content later. But this information up through here should be enough to really get you up and running compositionally. You should be creating some pretty dynamic pieces. There may be a few terminology videos. In fact, that's probably a good thing to write down, terminology. But after basic chord progressions, I mean, it's really up to you. So here we have C, so the C major scale, not a big shock, like it's super easy now. And you can do this with all of them, remember? So what it is if you were to add the chords, if you were to add the notes to make each of these triads, like so, you have now created the diatonic chords available in this scale. It's that simple. And so here it is. And now you would study these, and these are the harmonic relationships you will be working with. So if you want to move from 1 to 4, you'll be moving from C major to F major. Or third would be E minor. Or if we go over here, now you'll notice there's a pattern that will always emerge with the scale type. So for example, this is a major scale. You'll always end up with a major 1, a major 2, no, a major 1, a minor 2, a minor 3, a major 4, a major 5, let me think about this, a minor 6, a diminished 7, and a major, this is an octave, so it's whatever. I used to have this memorized. In fact, I still do have it memorized. I don't know why I say it like that. But anyways, the big thing is that this is diminished. You just memorize this. And there's additional ways to notate these things. You use Roman numeral symbols and things. I'm not totally familiar with how to get the Roman numerals out of here on MuseScore, but that would be like a whole nother series, because we've moved to the point where you now have enough knowledge to do basic musical analysis too, which is a really powerful tool as we get into forms and additional topics. But I'm once again going to probably stop after basic chord progressions, and then I'll move on after that to like some crazier topics. But what you could do is you could start analyzing the relationships. This changes in minor chords. For example, if you're going to make this minor, what do you have to do? Well, you have to flat all the threes, which is amazingly annoying to do in MuseScore, because when you select a note, you have to do that kind of a jazz. So all your E's would become flat. And if you were to do natural minor, then all your... So this would change a lot. You'd get more diminished chords. You'd get, not half diminished chords. You'd get diminished chords. You'd get all these things. You could add sevenths and compound things into this to create even more complex analysis options. I didn't finish this, by the way. I just flat 2 E's. There's more. There's an E here and another E here. And my A and my B would also have to be flat. So I'd flat this and I'd flat that. And I'd flat this and all these things. So I'd come through here, and then I would look at each one. And what the idea is, you could use this to form basic chord progressions. So that's what I just really want to lay out, what a diatonic. So in the key of C major, so let's return this to C major. This is the diatonic chord progression for C major. Essentially, they are the chords that if you were to make this the key signature correct, you could just write out triads the whole way through. For example, if we were to go to key signatures, make this a D major, then we could write out the diatonic chords quite easily. This is not, however, a great way to do analysis, because then you may become unaware that certain things, you know, notice minor, minor, major. So you notice they're following the same progression because they're both major keys. If we shift it down a, what is this? Shift it down a minor third, you will get the relative minor, which you can then go there. So you're starting to combine these two to form a key, and then you can modulate from key to key. Now, these things, there's a lot more, like there's just so much more theory. I've really had to, it's hard to draw a line. But one day I'll come back and go even more in depth in a variety of additional subjects. It's just I needed a really solid music theory course. So I encourage you to do this. Do it for all the major and minor keys. Look at the progressions. Write out like if it's a major or minor or diminished. Chord symbols and analysis tools are things I've chosen to omit at this point that I may add in the future. That way you can go through and analyze things more powerfully. But I just want you to know what it means for diatonic chords. This is what it is. So you can do this for minor, all that stuff. So if you have any questions about this concept, let me know. Subscribe and have a blessed day. And if I push play, that's the sound. Okay, now this is my sound. It is different than this sound. I'll explain a whole bunch of ways to mess with the timbre to get something that might be closer. And this is close enough to where you could get this particular timbre if you finagle with it for long enough, if you're like totally bent on getting that exact sound. So that's my sound.